What's up, Soul Nation? Let me just put this right at the top. I hope Borderlands 3 is an unmitigated success. I can't ever bring myself to root against developers, but over at Work to Game, I posted a video as to why I actually canceled my pre-order and how freeing that actually was. Now, I'll include a link in the description below if you want to check that out. But beyond just the pre-order and how many awesome games that are coming out this fall, it came down to one simple light bulb. Everyone I've talked to about Borderlands 3 has either been uninterested in the game or they're not going to check it out because of 2K and what's been going on. Now, the majority of people that I've talked to that said they are going to play it have either been talking about like, hey, they're going to go check it out for like 1 or 2 weeks before they return to like Final Fantasy, WoW Classic, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. In essence, Borderlands 3 seems like it's a pit stop rather than a destination. Now, this troubles me greatly, and it's the reason I wanted to sit down and ask the question. Should Borderlands 3 been a live service game and an investment game rather than the looter shooter that it pioneered so many years ago? I know that live service games don't always go well, and some take time to get off the ground and have their own issues, but they can also live for a very long time, 10 to 15 years or more. And the issue that Borderlands 3 faces is both with time and being a little too late to the party, and holding on to what set it apart so many years ago, when people, players, creators, and more talk about how they might just spend a few weeks with the game before jumping back into their investment games, their community games, it starts to worry me greatly. Let alone the core issue as to why pre-order, why play on day one, when the game is going to have some Game of the Year edition, when I'll be able to pick it up at a heavily discounted rate, when I actually have time to play, or maybe even ultimately end up in some kind of Game Pass situation in which that I can just play the game for free here in a couple of months anyway. Never know based off how the game sells. Now, I have no illusions that this game isn't going to sell well. This is Borderlands 3. It's going to sell really well just based off of the franchise name alone. And I really hope the game does sell well. I really am rooting for the game itself, but I feel like everybody is ultimately wrong. I think they've made some wrong decisions in how they're presenting the game and forming it up. Now, many other than this are skipping the game because of Epic and how it's in the store and it's going to come to Steam here in 6 months, and maybe that's the time to jump into it. Many others are skipping for their own reasons. This isn't meant or any intent to ruin Borderlands for you. If you're still looking forward to it, I really hope that it's amazing and it's incredible and you have a great time with it. I honestly do. But I just can't shake the suspicion that this feeling and what I've been having all summer, that this isn't the Borderlands that you remember. And while if you do pick up the game and dive in, I really hope it's fun. I really hope that you have and your friends stick with it for the long time. I truly do. I feel and I hope that I'm wrong about Borderlands. And before it was announced, I talked about how I hoped that it would be that type of investment game, that live service game, a game that I could sink my teeth into for many, many years to come. But so far, nothing I've seen puts me on that path, and it makes it something that I want to jump in for the long haul. It's just that pit stop. Now, rather than a gaming destination like Borderlands 2, this is where I fall. And this is where, when I was thinking about it, and like I said over on Work to Game, and check out the video, link will be in the description if you guys are interested, it was very freeing to sit back and cancel that pre-order. With Gears 5, with Final Fantasy VIII, with Dragon Quest, with Destiny, with Final Fantasy, with WoW Classic, with all of these amazing games. Yeah, like, why? Why play it now is more the question as opposed to anything else. And that's going to be an interesting challenge. I really, again, like I say, hope it sells well. But if I'm not alone, if more people are thinking like I'm thinking right now, and they hold off, they say, well, you know, I'm just not going to have the time. Maybe I'll come check it out this holiday or next summer or something like that. It's going to have that message. It's going to send that stark message. And you're going to see people, unfortunately, I think, rejoice. If Borderlands 3 doesn't do well, I hopefully people aren't rejoicing in the streets saying, haha, because there are people, real people, who've poured a ton of time into it. And that's why I do want it to be successful. I know that this is a convoluted and complex issue. We've said it over here that if the game's great, it doesn't matter what 2K has been up to. And I stand by that. But I think everybody's wrong. Like, I think that ultimately it's going to be this interesting thing. And it's essentially kind of a temperature reading that I see. I don't see excitement being built up, being invested. Like, every little thing I see about Borderlands 3 is just not making me more excited. In fact, they've had a great marketing campaign, but I think they're wrong. I think they messed up. I think that they haven't sold me on the game as an investment game. They've sold me on the game as a come check it out in a couple of, in a year when it's all the stuff is done and you're going to save a lot of money. Go play the other games that you're interested in. Anyway, those are my thoughts, guys. I'd love to know yours. Sound it off in the comments below. Let's have that conversation about Borderlands. I'm really interested in what you think. Thanks for taking time to watch the video this far. Hopefully I haven't ruined Borderlands for you. Not my intention whatsoever, but I do like having these conversations. And ultimately we'll know, like sometime around January, I guess we'll have a really good feel for how Borderlands 3 stacks up. We're going to have real hard numbers on it. We're going to see what people are playing and streaming. And honestly, I would love for nothing more than people to be streaming that game constantly. But anyway, for you guys who stuck around and didn't just look at the title and, assume something about the video, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think. And I'll see you next time. For the Soul Nation, Ginger Prime here. Take care.